What ifs? What if the real killer, Mark Christie, had been arrested and convicted of Viola Manville's death in 1988?
And then when something like this happens, it's very shocking.
I'd had empathy for the situation that Kaylee's mother and father were going through.
I hope our law enforcement and our judges will do what's right.
Yeah.
And give him what he deserves.
Mark Christie was interviewed for several hours. He showed no deceit during the interview.
This what if is a possibility not lost on Kaylee's family. Tonight, I spoke with her mother.
His confession was very compassionate and very remorseful.
Tragic case of Callie Ann Poulton. Callie Ann Poulton entered the world in September 1989, a beautiful and cherished addition to the lives of her parents, Judy Gifford and David Poulton. Despite her parents' separation in 1992, Callie continued to bring joy and light into their lives as she lived with her mother, Judy, in Rochester, New York. Despite the challenges of their situation, Judy and David maintained a friendly relationship for the sake of their beloved daughter, ensuring that Callie grew up surrounded by love and support from both sides of her family. Described as a little girl with blonde hair and dimples, Callie was adored by everyone who knew her, her infectious laughter and playful spirit brightening the lives of those around her. However, tragedy struck on May 23, 1994, when Callie's carefree afternoon of riding her tricycle on the sidewalk outside her home took a devastating turn. In a horrifying moment of panic, Callie vanished without a trace, leaving her mother, Judy, frantically searching for her beloved daughter.
What ifs? What if the real killer, Mark Christie, had been arrested and convicted of Viola Manville's death in 1988?
His confession was very compassionate and very remorseful.
I hope our law enforcement and our judges will do what's right.
Yeah.
And give him what he deserves.
Mark Christie was interviewed for several hours. He showed no deceit during the interview.
Kaylee Poulton might be alive today. Christie killed her 4 years later.
The sudden disappearance of the 4-year-old girl sent shockwaves through the community of Rochester and captured the attention of the nation as the desperate search for Callie unfolded. Police and volunteers launched an extensive search effort that spanned the entire country, scouring every inch of the neighborhood and beyond in a relentless quest to find the missing child. Despite their tireless efforts, Callie remained elusive, her whereabouts shrouded in mystery as the days turned into agonizing weeks. In a desperate bid to find her daughter, Judy made the heartbreaking decision to quit her part-time job and dedicate herself full-time to the search for Callie. Her relentless pursuit of answers kept Callie's name in the public eye as she appealed to the community for any information that could help bring her daughter home. However, despite Judy's unwavering determination and the outpouring of support from friends, family, and strangers alike, Callie remained missing, her absence casting a shadow of grief and uncertainty over all who knew her. Then, in a tragic twist of fate, investigators received a crucial tip that would unravel the mystery of Callie's disappearance and bring a semblance of closure to her devastated family. In 1996, authorities made a grim discovery at a telecommunications building in Rochester, where they found Callie's heavily decomposed remains inside a 30,000-gallon water tank. The heartbreaking revelation confirmed the worst fears of Judy and David as they grappled with the unimaginable pain of losing their beloved daughter in such a senseless and brutal manner. Unraveling the mystery. The heart-wrenching story of Callie Poulton's abduction and slaying shook the community of Rochester, New York to its core and left a lasting scar on the hearts of all who knew her. The brutal truth behind Callie's tragic fate emerged through a series of chilling revelations that exposed the dark and sinister deeds of her slayer, Mark Christie. Mark Christie, a 24-year-old security guard at the time of his arrest, emerged as the prime suspect in Callie's abduction and slaying after a disturbing confession during an argument with his wife, Lacey Ann Newton. In a moment of shocking candor, Mark admitted to Lacey that he was responsible for Callie's disappearance, prompting her to alert the authorities to his chilling revelation. Mark's confession unraveled a web of deceit and cruelty that had remained hidden for far too long, shedding light on the horrific fate that befell the innocent 4-year-old girl.
Judy says Mark Christie is eligible for parole in 2021.
And then when something like this happens, it's very shocking.
Just like for once in his life was a man and did what was right and just take his punishment and stand up and said, yes, I did it.
I'd had empathy for the situation that Kaylee's mother and father were going through.
Think of anything we've ever done in life. What if I hadn't done this? What if I didn't, do this?
According to Mark's confession to the police, he lured Callie into his home after spotting her riding her tricycle outside. When he heard Callie's mother, Judy, calling out for her daughter, Mark's panic spiraled out of control, leading him to commit the unthinkable act of strangling the young girl with his own hands. In a chilling twist of deception, Mark then proceeded to participate in the search for Callie, masquerading as a concerned neighbor while concealing the horrifying truth of his heinous crime. Despite his initial evasion of suspicion, Mark's dark secrets eventually came to light, leading to his arrest and subsequent confession to kidnapping and slaying Callie. In August 1996, Mark pleaded guilty to the charges against him and was sentenced to prison, bringing a semblance of closure to Callie's devastated family and the community at large. However, the chilling revelations surrounding Mark's involvement in Callie's slaying were only the beginning of a harrowing journey into the depths of his depravity. Years later, new information emerged that implicated Mark in another heinous crime, the brutal slaying of 74-year-old Viola Manville in 1988. Despite being a prime suspect in the case at the time, Mark evaded justice as another man, Frank Sterling, was wrongfully convicted of the crime based on a coerced confession. It wasn't until 2010, when new DNA evidence exonerated Frank, that the true extent of Mark's culpability in Viola's slaying came to light. In a chilling revelation, Mark confessed to police details of Viola's slaying that had never been made public, providing irrefutable evidence of his guilt in the gruesome crime. He described how he brutally beat and partially exposed Viola's body to the cold in a twisted bid to hasten her demise, a chilling testament to the depths of his depravity and disregard for human life. In September 2011, Mark pleaded guilty to Viola's slaying, finally bringing closure to a decades-old case of injustice and shedding new light on the sinister nature of his crimes. For Callie's father, David, the revelation of Mark's involvement in Viola's slaying served as a painful reminder of the devastating consequences of delayed justice, as he grappled with the haunting realization that his daughter's life might have been spared if Mark had been held accountable for his crimes sooner. The tragic tale of Callie Poulton serves as a sobering reminder of the darkness that lurks within the hearts of some, and the enduring quest for justice that seeks to bring light to even the darkest of shadows. Though Callie's life was tragically cut short, her memory lives on as a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the unwavering pursuit of truth and justice in the face of unimaginable loss. The aftermath. Following his chilling confession to the abduction and slaying of 4-year-old Callie Poulton, Mark Christie faced the full weight of justice as he was sentenced to a term of 25 years to life in prison for the heinous crime. Prosecutors presented compelling evidence, including confessions made by Mark to a co-worker and his father, which corroborated his guilt and sealed his fate in the eyes of the law.
This what if is a possibility not lost on Kaylee's family. Tonight, I spoke with her mother.
And when somebody's compassionate and remorseful, it's a great indication.
It changes everything in our life. We all know that little word, that little if thing really changes so much.
And he was polygraphed by state police polygraph investigators, and he showed no deceit.
What's expected next in the Manville case is for the evidence to be presented to a grand jury.
As part of a plea deal, the first-degree kidnapping charge was dropped, sparing Callie's family from the anguish of a prolonged trial while ensuring that Mark would be held accountable for his actions. For Judy Gifford, Callie's mother, the revelation of Mark's guilt shattered any lingering hope of Callie's safe return, plunging her into a realm of unimaginable pain and sorrow. Despite the devastating blow, Judy found solace in the knowledge that Callie had not endured prolonged suffering and had passed away on the same day she disappeared, a small comfort amid the overwhelming grief that consumed her. As the wheels of justice turned, Mark's dark past resurfaced with haunting clarity, revealing his involvement in another senseless act of violence, the brutal slaying of 74-year-old Viola Manville in 1988. With new evidence and testimony shedding light on his culpability in Viola's demise, Mark pleaded guilty to second-degree slaying and received an additional sentence of 20 years to life to be served consecutively with his existing term for Cali slaying. For Judy and Cali's loved ones, Mark's incarceration brought a measure of closure to a chapter of unspeakable tragedy, offering a semblance of justice for the precious life that had been brutally taken. However, the scars left by Cali's untimely demise continue to reverberate through the community, serving as a stark reminder of the fragility of innocence and the depths of human depravity. As years passed and the memory of Cali's vibrant spirit endured, questions lingered about Mark's fate and the legacy of his crimes. According to prison records, Mark remains incarcerated at the Sing Sing Correctional Facility in Ossining, New York, where he serves out his sentence behind bars. Though his physical presence may be confined, the impact of his actions reverberates far beyond the prison walls, leaving an indelible mark on the lives of those touched by Cali's tragic demise. Looking to the future, Cali's memory serves as a beacon of hope and resilience, inspiring efforts to prevent similar tragedies and protect the innocence of childhood. Through advocacy, awareness, and a steadfast commitment to justice, Cali's legacy lives on, ensuring that her untimely demise will not be forgotten and that her spirit continues to shine brightly in the hearts of all who cherish her memory. Incarcerated and isolated from society, Mark Christie serves as a grim reminder of the consequences of unchecked violence and the profound impact of loss. As Cali's loved ones navigate the difficult journey of healing and remembrance, they find solace in the knowledge that justice has been served and that Cali's memory will endure as a beacon of light in the darkness, guiding them through the trials of life and reminding them of the precious gift of every moment. That's all for this video, folks. See you next time.